Yes, she is. Thank you.
Okay, there you go.
All right. Being 5 o'clock, we will call the special village board meeting to order. I will take the roll call. Trustee Spillman?
No.
Oh, wow, sorry, these are old minutes from before.
Oh, I missed
We
it.
haven't had a special meeting in a while. All right. Trustee Pierce? Here. Trustee Lambert?
Here.
Trustee Martin?
Here.
Trustee McManus?
Here.
Trustee Wishaw?
Here.
Trustee Ball?
Here.
All right. We will move on to public comments. I do have one person that has signed up to speak. Jeff Wilkowski. Please come to the microphone.
You guys have not
And
already
please
decided-
state your name and address for the record.
Pardon me?
Address for
My
the
name is
record.
Jeff Wilkowski, 7141 7 Mile Road. Just west of Foley Road, if you guys are trying to figure out where that is. I see at the bottom of the thing here is discussion of addressing possible vacancy, and I wanted to throw my name in as a possible village trustee for that time being. I was president of a national rabbit club for 2 years, and got a chance to work with people with differing ideas on both things. So I kind of know how to get people working together. So I'm just throwing my hat in the ring if you guys have not already decided who you want to get into the village board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to make a comment? When you're done? When you're done.
Miller Lancel, 10810 7 Mile Road, Caledonia. I just want to come up here to say thank you all for your diligence in being trustees. You've all took an oath to represent the village. Sometimes disagreements are going to happen. As we look at changes that we're going to talk about today, I hope that you all remain objective and share your honest opinion with each other, and hopefully work together to collaborate to make Caledonia awesome and to meet the needs of the people. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak? Okay, then we'll move on to new business, and I believe Administrator Willis has a few remarks.
So I'm going to go over a couple of the options for the village trustees today. And as was explained a little bit before while you were talking up there, Trustee Wishaw was previously appointed to act in Tom's absence, and that was during temporary absence. Since this is a permanent absence, item number 1 above addresses presidential functions while the process plays out. If the board is prepared to appoint someone to the position of village president at this meeting, then you do not have to go forward with the action on item number 1, and perhaps you should take item 2 out of order before item 1 by motion. And if the board does not act on this item number 1, then a motion to receive and file should be made to close this agenda item. If the board decides it wants an interim acting village president after all, a motion to appoint a trustee as an acting village president for ministerial duties of the office of the village president until a vacancy is permanently filled. And that would be up to this board to figure out whether they want to move out of order and go to number 2, or they want to place an acting one, and then we can follow through the rest of the agenda that way.
I have a suggestion, and that is that I've been through this once before when Bob Bradley resigned as president, so I'm familiar with the process. So I know that there's a choice between a special election or our appointing one of our members as board president. And I did call our clerk earlier today, and I know that she's prepared to explain this. Is both the cost of the election and the difficulty in setting a special election because of timing in between. There are current elections ongoing, and elections, if we were to have a special election, there's a particular timing. You have to have time for people to collect signatures, et cetera. So Jen, if you could explain that, I think it's helpful to us and also to everyone sitting here.
Do we want to go ahead and do a motion to take item B out of order, and then we can discuss this further and then make a possible decision on that?
I will
Well, I
make
would think you ought to do it before we decide whether to take that out of
Yeah,
order or
I'll
not.
talk about it. I just mean to, then we can take up item B and then we can talk about it.
No, I think, I think what you should do is, because item B is only relevant once we decide what we're going to do, I think it's helpful if we just, if we,
No,
list
I,
the-
no, I know.
Item B
I will
is
make a
the
motion to move B
discussion.
above A.
Second.
oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, we're not getting rid of A, we're just
Right,
moving
yeah.
it
That's
out of
fine.
order.
Okay, we
have a Okay.
motion, and who seconded?
I'll second.
Holly did.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Okay, so yes, as trustee Martin mentioned, it is fairly complicated on holding a special election at this time of year because we are in the middle of an election cycle already. So the general election, in order to hold a special election concurrent with a general election, we also have to hold the primary concurrent with the primary for that general election. We already have ballots and have already mailed out ballots for the August election, so it's too late to hold a primary concurrent with the August primary, so we cannot hold it concurrent with the general election. That means the earliest we could hold a special election would be sometime in mid-December. This happened a couple years ago when our former county executive passed away unexpectedly, and we did have to hold a special election. I have a very complicated diagram here with all sorts of state statutes that the county clerk had to put together with lawyers to come up with exactly what the timeline would be. So it is quite complicated, and then we ended up holding that election December 18th. If we were to do that for the office of village president, about 3 weeks after they are elected, they would then have to turn in nomination papers to run for reelection. So it wouldn't make much sense to hold a special election for this position right now, or a term that would only last a couple of months. I did also put together an estimated budget for what that would cost the village. Now, again, this is an estimate based on what I use to budget for the year, so I broke it down by election. If there were no primary, we would be looking at probably $20,000. If we did end up having enough candidates running to also have a primary, that would run about $40,000.
Thank you, that's helpful.
Just, I'm not gonna use the microphone because it keeps interfering here, so I'll talk loud. Just so the board knows, the finance committee is aware of this, but we are looking at a financial issue, staring us in the face the next couple of years, so think very carefully here. If we go forward with this, it's gonna make our financial situation even worse. So ideally, I'd love to have an election myself. I think people should have to actually go through the motions and go through what we've all done to get on the board, but due to the cost and the time issues that Jen just mentioned, I think we need to be very careful about going forward with this special election. So that's all I have to say about that.
Todd has something.
I would just add that, just from my talking points here, this item was drafted to provide the board some flexibility. And if you are ready to appoint someone, you can discuss whether to appoint for the residual of an unexpired term or until a special election is held. If you would want a special election, you would need to decide when, and the clerk needs to indicate the timing, which she just went over with all of you. Most municipalities would appoint for the residual of an unexpired term because of those costs, and they're relatively expensive. And so if there is somebody that you're looking to appoint, that is done through a motion, and I can walk through when we get to that point.
Right,
I'll move that we do not hold a special election and that we move forward with the appointment of
An unexpired
someone
term.
to hold the office, the residue of the unexpired term of former board president Tom Witherston.
I'll second.
Okay. I don't think we need a formal motion on that, but we would need a motion to appoint someone. So if someone wanted to nominate
But don't you
someone-
need us to say we
I
don't
think-
want to do the special election?
I think we need to
I don't think we
first
need
decide
to-
not to hold the special election.
It just says if you're ready to appoint someone, then you make a motion to appoint that trustee to the office of village president for the unexpired residual of the term or until a special election is held. That's really the motion. So you only have to do one motion.
Okay,
Right.
It's
And
then I will withdraw my
the-
motion.
The other option would be to go back to item A and appoint an acting village president for the remainder instead of.
Okay, but we're on B. I will make a motion to appoint Prescott Balch to fill the unexpired term of the board president.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion from the board?
Yeah, I guess there wasn't even an offer to find out which trustee was interested or any conversations going forward. Do we have to appoint from the board?
We do.
I don't
Not
believe
have
that we
to.
I don't believe we have to.
doesn't necessarily say that you have to.
You can also take applications from the
So
public.
is it possible that we appoint somebody interim and then open it up to see who else is interested?
Right?
Yes.
Because the second, you could amend that motion or make your own to set the process for applications timeline to fill vacancy in the office of village president. And then you would need to go back to item 1 and take action that way.
That's what we've always done for our other vacant positions when people have left. I'm not talking about the president, I'm talking about board positions in general.
It's not what we did when Bob
yeah.
Bradley resigned, though.
But I'm not
It was
just talking
someone-
about
it was a-
president.
It was a board president then.
I'm saying in general, when that was prior to my time, I've been on the board almost 6 years. We held options for candidates to come forward from the community who may have felt that when Mr. Weatherston ran, that they may not have had an opportunity to have had their voice heard and to find out what type of ideas and experience they can bring to the board. And so I would be okay with appointing someone in the interim to see then what the options are. If we're not going to hold a special election and give the opportunity that Trustee Wishaw mentioned, that where they have to get signatures and things like that, this would be the free option to us to allow somebody to come forward and say, hey, I'm interested and I believe I'm qualified. And it would also give the opportunity for the public to hear what the options are. So
I would agree with you on an application process, except only on filling the board vacancy that we will have, not the board presidency.
But the
And
vote
that's
is
what
the
my motion
same.
is.
But the vote is the same, right? When people vote for the board president, they're also voting for a member of this board. And we would open that up to the public. So why does the president's weight carry any more than the other trustees when it comes to the issues that our village is facing?
I guess I would say that anyone could have run against Tom Weatherston. He ran unopposed, but anyone that was interested could have run against him, and no one did. So to me, it's preferable to have an elected official as board president than someone who didn't have enough interest at the time even to be nominated to run for board president. So I agree with what you're saying with respect to assuming that we elect a member of this board as president, that will leave an unoccupied seat. So I agree with you about taking applications for that vacancy, but I don't agree with you about the board president. I don't think we should have somebody that we appoint someone who didn't run for president and who is therefore someone unelected for that term.
But we haven't even seen what other trustees are interested in this
Well, anybody can
position.
nominate anybody.
I mean, I've got a nomination on the floor. Do you want me to call the question on that, or do we want to open it for anybody else to nominate someone else?
No, let's open it for nominations. I think that's
Oh,
fair.
Is there
I'll
any other
nominate-
nominations?
I'll
Before
nominate
we-
Lee.
No, hold on, hold on, no, hold on. I cannot be the president.
Can't be the president.
I'm involved in too many other organizations. There's much more to being the president. That's where I would disagree a little bit with Holly. There's much more to being the president than there is to being the trustee.
Right.
I cannot dedicate that amount of time. I'm on a couple of other boards.
I hear you.
I've got a number of other volunteer
I'm in
organizations.
the same
so
boat.
I appreciate the thought,
Yeah.
Mike.
Well, I
but,
thought since you were doing it already, why not just
Yeah.
extend, but I get it.
I'm fine with sitting in when the village president can't make it. I've been doing that since Bob Bradley was here.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that, because that's only, occasional. But full-time, I'm sorry, I can't do that. If there's anybody else that would like to make a nomination, feel free.
I'll nominate Nancy.
I will decline. I would like to keep my seat here. I think I serve best in this position.
I'm gonna run down the thing. That way everybody has a voice. Fran, I nominate you.
Thank you. I decline also,
Okay?
because it really is more involved. Being board president, it takes substantially more time and substantially more effort, and I'm really not prepared to do it at this time, but thank you for the nomination.
And then Holly, I'll nominate you.
I would extend my nomination to somebody else that would be interested within the community. And so I politely decline because I am on 2 other committees and cannot. But I'm still going to stick to my comment that I believe that we should open this up the same way that we do our other board positions.
Then I'm going to call the question on the sitting motion.
Well, you just stole what I was gonna say. I was gonna nominate Prescott.
Oh,
So
well, you
this
did.
is a
I
way,
already-
well, I know you did, but this was a way that at least now everybody got a say at least.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Right.
It was kind of an odd way to do it, but everybody now had a say and we kind of know each other's position.
We have a motion on the floor and a second.
Does Prescott accept the nomination?
I do.
Nominating
Okay, I
Prescott
will
as
take a
village
roll call vote.
Roll call.
Yep. Trustee Pierce,
Aye.
trustee Lambert,
All right?
trustee Martin,
Aye.
trustee McManus.
No.
Trustee Wishaw,
Yes.
trustee Balch.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Prescott. You are now.
But now we get to
Now you
swear
gotta
you
get
in.
So is it move over Lee
Do
and?
you want to do the swearing in
Yep.
now?
Yes.
Yes.
We have to.
Time to swear you in, Prescott.
All right.
I'm gonna go out there. Repeat after me,
Oh,
please.
somebody got a picture.
I,
I, Prescott Balch,
having been appointed to the office of village president for the village of Caledonia, swear or attest that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin, and the ordinances of the village of Caledonia. I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said position to the best of my ability. I'll have you sign. So for the rest of the meeting to the new village president, I would recommend going back to item 4A so that you can receive and file that since it is moot.
Oh. Got it. I'll move to
Prescott needs-
receive and,
Prescott needs to do it. He's the board president.
he doesn't need to make the motion.
Well, you're right.
We need to switch.
Anybody can make that motion.
He,
I don't
he needs to read it, though.
I mean, you can do it if you want, but the board president doesn't have to make any
No,
motion.
I will make the motion to receive and file agenda item 4A.
Second. I already made the motion, but
you
I'll
did?
second it. Yeah, but that's okay. I'll second
Right.
yours.
I'll have to get used to this protocol now. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no.
Discussion points on the village, nope, excuse me. The village trustee.
Got it. Okay, moving on to new business 4C. Discussion and decision addressing a possible vacancy in a village trustee office or a possible appointment to a vacant village trustee office for the residue of the unexpired term or until a special election is held as ordered by the village board. Or establishing the process timeline for filling a trustee office vacancy, which would be mine. Number 3 addresses the trustee vacancy process timeline if the board makes an immediate appointment to president from existing trustees. Okay, we just did that. I guess the discussion here is how we're going to go about doing this, special election or appointing someone, I guess, from the community. The suggested motion is to set process for applications timeline to fill vacancy in the village trustee office, or to appoint to the office of trustee until that term expires, I suppose. Given the cost that was associated, the cost that obviously would apply to this scenario as well.
It would if you were to hold a special,
Right.
an extra special election.
Right.
However, in this case, because you were just elected, there is a 1.5 years on your term.
Correct.
You could call for a special election to be concurrent with the next April election. That person could then run for the position, and they would carry out a 1-year term and then be up for reelection again. That is another option.
We've done that in the past too.
Would
That was with Hammett, Tony.
No, we didn't.
Wait.
We voted to
No.
go to application and Tom appointed instead.
Right.
So if you
That's
were to
Mike.
go,
Yeah.
if you
Right.
were to go this route, then the seat would remain vacant until the April election.
I would like
Okay.
to make a motion to move to discussion around a public application process and for determination on what that process would look like.
Second.
any discussion?
Lots.
Nope.
Having,
Makes sense.
Lee and I have been through this before. For example, when Kevin Weingard died.
Oh, yeah, I was with that.
Remember?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, so a 6-member board is not an ideal board because it's a potential tie vote. So I think we want to move relatively quickly. So my suggestion is that we do have a formal application process. And I think we probably have those applications somewhere on file from when we replaced
Yeah.
Kevin.
Because I went through that process when Kevin's seat was open, so I think hidden in the files somewhere, there probably is one.
There's probably an application, and my suggestion is that we make it a relatively short time frame. Again, because operating with a 6-member board, I think, is more difficult than when we have a potential tiebreak. So my suggestion is that we have a 2-week process for applications, and that the board consider those applications. And it has to do with when the next board meetings are, but that we take no longer than 1 month to complete the process.
Go ahead,
What we've
Lee.
done in the past also, we've gotten the applications, we actually did in-person interviews. with
Right, that's true.
selected
Yeah,
candidates
we
as
did.
well.
Yeah, so
Would that mean 2 weeks for applications and then a couple of weeks for interviews and then some period of time after that? Sounds like we're going to be a little longer than a month. Is that still?
Maybe
okay?
6
Mhm.
weeks, I guess.
Yes.
My understanding from talking to Attorney Ekis is that if you plan on doing interviews, those do happen in open session.
They happen what?
In open session. Is
you
what?
mean the interviews?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure, they
So,
did. They
yeah.
did previously.
It's not like you're scheduling interviews outside of open session. Those do happen
Right,
in the
right.
general view of the
So,
public.
so would it then be 2 weeks for application processing, then the next board meeting, we would have the interviews occur?
Yeah, we would just,
Okay.
whoever submitted applications, and then I guess we would, I mean, it depends how you would want to do it. If you guys wanted to review them and determine who you wanted to interview at the following meeting based on the applications received, and then follow up to have those interviewees come in and do the interview with the village board.
I would like to have a discussion of, I think 2 weeks is too short in the middle of summertime and being able to get the communications out. That's my concern, of being able to actually connect with the public. And could we go to 3 weeks so we have a chance? Because we're going to have to find the form, create the communication, identify the communication pathways we're going to use, and get the material back.
Well, I'm not saying get it back within 2 weeks. I'm just saying have the applications completed within 2 weeks. But my concern is just operating with a 6-member board.
Yeah, I think it's important that we have a person in place place by the time we start the budget review
Right.
process.
That makes sense.
In September. If we have it
For
done by
sure.
then, I think we'd be okay. Mike?
Holly?
Yeah, I'm okay with whatever timeline really, that whatever we think is sufficient for the public to get in. I think if somebody really wants to do it, though, they're gonna get their resume. They're either sitting in this audience or they're gonna know people that might be interested in this position too. So
So my,
well, we have 2 weeks, 3 weeks to the next, no, we have a village board meeting
We have
next
a-
week.
We have a
We-
village board meeting next
next
week
week.
and
So
then.
the following would be good time to have a list of names. So that would be 3
Right.
weeks.
21st.
So by the 21st, it'd be nice to
Yeah,
have
so that
our
gives-
candidates.
right, so that gives us a week to get ourselves organized, to get the information out there and get to the public, and then 2 weeks for the public to respond.
Mhm.
Right.
And then we have a
Sounds
list of
good.
names and then
We can look
potentially.
at them,
Mhm.
yeah.
Right.
Now, are we just, a clarification question. Are we going to still do an election in April? Is this a temporary appointment or are we appointing for the rest of the term?
I think it's
So-
the rest of the term.
Rest
Would
of
be
the term.
rest of the term.
Yeah.
So about a year and a
In
half.
each
A year and a
case, so
half.
Prescott's is the rest of Tom's term, and whoever replaces him is the rest of Prescott's term.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
So roughly speaking, we're looking at going through the 2 meetings in July to get all the names. In August, we're doing interviews in open session in one or the other of those August meetings with the goal of being done by the end of August, maybe the
Correct.
first week of September.
Yep.
With the appointment.
Yeah, so that we can meet budget issues. Lee's right.
Yeah, that's an important part for a new trustee to be a
Right.
part of, especially. It's
Right.
one of the most important learning opportunities we
Yeah.
have.
Do you want to
Painful,
set
though it
the
is.
application deadline before the meeting on July 21st?
Is July 19th okay?
Yeah, make it a couple,
July
a little bit
19th
before
is
so we can look at
Sunday.
those.
Oh,
so
that's not a
maybe
good
Monday,
idea.
the 20th,
Or what if we go back to that
Friday the
Friday.
17th?
Friday at
the
5 p.m.
July 17th, 5 p.m.? Because that's almost 3 weeks right there.
I have to imagine we have something similar drafted already in the
That's what I'm
files.
saying, I
I
think there is
Yeah.
something, because
'Cause I
we've
went
gone
through
through it
it, yeah.
before.
Just have to find it.
I think there is.
And how specific do we have to be on this motion to put this schedule together?
I just, you actually had it pretty dead on from what Elaine
You want me
had.
to
So
say
it
it
was a
again?
motion to set process for applications timeline to fill the vacancy in the office of village trustee. So I had a motion and a second, and now I have the specific timeline. So I'll really
It's
just
just a
a
vote.
vote, unless there's further discussion.
Can you read it back?
Yes. The motion by trustee Pierce to set the process for applications and timeline to fill the vacancy in the village trustee office, seconded by trustee Martin.
And then the timeline.
And then the
has to be in
3-week
there somewhere.
application timeline with the deadline of Friday, July 17th at 5 PM.
Okay. So we're not committing ourselves to being done. We're just setting the deadline of the 17th in this motion.
For the applications?
Yeah.
Do you want to add additional
I will
information to that?
I will amend the motion.
Now you're getting all complicated with me on amendments to motions. I'm the new guy
Welcome to the-
now.
Welcome to the- I will amend the motion that, what's our August date? No,
To
July, on
make a
July
decision
21st,
by?
we will receive and review applicants, and no later than, what's the last meeting in August?
That
July
would
21st is
be
the last meeting.
In
No,
August,
of
Or
August?
not
of August.
Would be the 18th.
Then no later than the August 18th, a decision will be made as to who will fill that seat. How's
Okay,
that?
and then that just gives us time to
And
sort out interviews.
And if we
whatnot.
do it
trustee
earlier,
Martin as the seconder, are you okay with that amendment?
I am okay with that.
We need to vote on the amendment?
I don't think we
Yes.
voted on the first one, did we?
No. But we have,
You
But
do
we
the
have to-
amendment
we
first
we have
and
to
then the original.
Amendment.
vote on the
First.
amendment and then go vote on
Get
the,
it that
okay,
complicated,
so
you both agree.
we're voting on the amendment that Nancy just proposed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll go back to the original with the amendment, right? Is that how we're doing this?
Mhm.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Get your applications in out there.
Spread the word.
I
You wanna
move,
adjourn?
yes,
Second.
excellent. Meeting adjourned.
Oh, this has got